A dramatic twist in the case of that disabled teenager shocked and restrained 4 hours, a case that caught people's attention really all across the globe. Just hours after a jury started deliberations, the case comes to a sudden end. Fox Undercover's Mike Beaudet broke this story. He's here now with the new developments. What do you have, Mike?
Maria, the jury was only a few hours into its first full day of deliberations when the two sides announced they had agreed to settle. It's the culmination of what's been a tumultuous trial pitting the Judge Rotenberg Center and its controversial use of electric shocks against one of its former students whose mother says his treatment there amounted to torture. The lawsuit may be over, but that former student's mother says her fight is not.
We talk about terrorism in other countries, but we have it right here at JRC, and it needs to stop.
Unemotional Cheryl McCollins speaking just moments after the confidential settlement agreement was approved by the judge in Norfolk Superior Court. Her disabled son Andre was a student at the Judge Rotenberg Center in 2002 when he was restrained and shocked repeatedly for hours, 31 times in all. The trial exposing for the first time something that had never been seen before, video of the controversial electric shocks.
It was hard for me to sit there for 2 weeks and watch this over and over and over again. And to know that their methods haven't changed and this is still going on, it's incomprehensible.
Attorney Ben NOVOTNY represents Andre McCollins and his mother. Is this a victory for Andre McCollins?
It absolutely is. It's a victory for all the children at the JRC, past and present, because it does send a message to what's going on there, but also for Andre, that we'll be able to take care of him. Even
though the jury did not have to reach a decision on the case, NOVOTNY says jurors were critical to the outcome.
Sometimes it does take the process of going through the trial to make them own up to their mistakes and make them come forward with what happened today.
But the attorney representing the Judge Rotenberg Center is not owning up to any mistakes. Is this an admission that the JRC did something wrong?
Not at all. Quite the contrary. As a matter of fact, we're delighted we had the opportunity to show the jury everything that happened that day.
Attorney David O'Connor insists the video, when watched in its entirety, actually shows how much attention McCollins received from so many professionals that day. Help me understand, why settle the case if you didn't do anything wrong? Why not wait for the jury's verdict?
Well, I suppose you could ask the same question to the plaintiff.
What's your answer?
My answer is that 95% of civil cases resolve for all types of reasons.
Do you maintain this was treatment, not torture?
Absolutely.
Now, this case has renewed calls to ban the electric shock. Senate President Therese Murray supports a ban, and Governor Patrick says he'd likely sign a bill banning the electric shocks. But another attorney representing the Judge Rotenberg Center says the treatment will and should continue.
If they're banging their head to the point of causing a stroke, if they're pulling out their own teeth, if they're gouging out their own eyes, biting off their own body parts, and nothing is working, a treatment like this, a 2-second skin shock, there's no doubt it's a treatment that needs to be available when it's necessary.
Andre McCollins' mother is promising to take part in an occupied JRC National Day of Action that's scheduled for June 2nd. Again, the settlement is confidential, so we don't know how much money the JRC agreed to pay to end the suit. Maria?
So we don't know the money, but the question I think that lingers out there is why settle this now? That videotape is already out there getting worldwide attention. You think if you were the Judge Rotenberg Center, you think that a settlement would have come before the trial so that video would never get played.
It really is a public relations nightmare, Maria, that probably could have been avoided. We do know the Rotenberg Center fought for years to keep that video secret and even tried to stop our camera from recording it in court. Remember, jurors did ask a question Monday wanting to know why they were being asked to decide if the Rotenberg clinicians were negligent, but not the center itself. That could suggest jurors were looking to find someone responsible for what happened that day. Did that motivate the Rotenberg Center to settle? No one's saying. I'm Mike Beaudet for Fox Undercover.